The Spanish Announce Table.
It is episode 384 of the Spanish Announce Table. I feel like I haven't been here in 20 damn years. Having to do grown man stuff, you know what I mean? Like a dad stuff. Yeah, look, MJF's hanging out with it. He's confused that I'm here too. He's really shocked too. If you don't know what I'm talking about because you only listen to the audio podcast, we do this live and we have, fun backgrounds behind us. Tom's here. I'm here. We got graphics. And you get to see our faces.
What is going on? What is going on? Who are you? Hello, welcome to the Spanish Announce Table.
Yeah.
We've been here talking pro wrestling.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on your podcast, Tom.
Special guest host.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for allowing me to shine on your stage.
Oh, man. Tim, what's been going on?
Man, we had house renovation.
Well, so what's really going on is Sunday night is going to be AEW Double or Nothing. Are you excited about that?
I am excited about that, Tom. Yes, that is one of the most exciting things going on in my life this week is Double or
it's going to be fun. Yeah. Oh, fun fact for anyone who's not watching or listening live, we are recording on a Thursday night. Key part about that is they're going to be doing AEW Rampage live on Friday night. So we're going to be talking about the card. We're going to give you some predictions. We're obviously going to tell you some things that happened last night on Dynamite. But if we make any prediction, for example, Dr. Britt Baker versus either Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander, if one of us picks Ruby Soho, for example, we don't even know if she's going to be in the match because she could lose tomorrow night to Chris Statlander. So there's some TBD stuff. We'll kind of give you a little bit of our hedge bets on that stuff. But if we sound a little silly, it's because we don't know what happened on Friday night because we're recording on a Thursday night.
Yeah. I'm excited for Double or Nothing. The build has been fun. I have been watching while I've been out and absent and unable to help you here, Tom. And you did a great job, by the way.
Thanks. It was
absence. Fun. You did some fun shows. But the build for all of this has been great. This feels like a super card, and they're great at that.
Yeah, this one feels very special. It feels like there's going to be something monumental that happens. Now, whether that's a title changing hands or a moment or a debut, something like that, who knows? But this one feels as if they're trying to build it to be you're going to remember this kind of show. I mean, hell, looking at the card here, I pulled up the Wikipedia for it. Just in a throwaway match, honestly, it's a throwaway match. The Hardys are taking on the Young Bucks. And, for any longtime listeners, you'll know that's not our cup of tea, right? The Hardys or the Young Bucks. However, we understand their significance in pro wrestling and their spot kind of in independent pro wrestling and WWE pro wrestling history. And it's just like, oh, by the way, and it's probably going to be, flips and shits and someone's jumping off the stage, right? And that's just a thing that's on the card, surrounded by all these other just amazing stories like an MJF and Wardlow. So yeah, this card is stacked.
Yeah,
Tim.
I'm excited about it. And I'm excited to talk about it. So what we're going to do here too, we're going to preview that card today. We're going to make some predictions. And along the way, we'll talk about, some of the build up, kind of like we were doing a Dynamite review, but we don't feel like wasting your time with a Dynamite review first. And then, because we're going to be behind anyway, as we mentioned, right? We're not going to catch up on Rampage. So we're just going to go with it. And then at the end, we've got, along the way, we have tweets from you, the viewers, the listeners. We'll get into those when they're subject appropriate. And at the end, we've got some WWE stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Save it for the end because who's going to make it that far in this episode anyhow? Hey.
I might not even think of that.
Yeah, man. Right. So, hey, let's kick it off with the AEW pre-show match. And what a banger this is. Honestly, I might have put the Hardys versus the Young Bucks on the pre-show and put this match on the main show because this is worth the price of admission. But it's on free TV. It's going to be on YouTube. I think it's also going to be on TBS, I believe. Don't quote me on that part. But it is the team of Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling taking on Hookhausen, Hook, and Danhausen. Tim, I haven't got your feedback on Hookhausen. First, tell me what you think about this team, the buildup, and then who you got.
Look, I love Danhausen and I love Hook. I am a little worried, and I also enjoy every minute of this, but I also am a little worried because Hook feels like he was destined for more. But then I also thought, like, ooh, man, you may be in danger of like doing it too soon, too early, right? For whatever reason, this has worked and it's enjoyable and it's getting chips over. So you know, if you're getting a prop over, you're doing something right.
Man, and they're coming here. We're going to this June 8th. AEW Dynamite's coming to Kansas City, specifically Independence.
That's right. We got tickets for that already.
Yeah.
I owe you money for that probably, right?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
But guys, potato chips and Hook, that sounds like a match made in heaven.
Hey, I think we know something about guys. We know some guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So Chips getting over. I know contact. You know what I mean?
Say who that is. I have to ask him if he's allowed to say who he is.
Wow.
Well,
or her.
Shows up at events, right?
Or her.
Or her.
We don't know.
They.
Yeah, we don't. They. Yeah.
I don't assume any genders, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so Hookhausen versus Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. Who you got? Give me your prediction here.
This is Hookhausen. Only way is that there's some chicanery, not chicanery, but some is that right?
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Shenanigans. Yeah, if there's some shenanigans and there's like a DQ or something like that, or a sneak roll up, I could see that going on. But Hookhausen stands tall, looking like the strong team that they are.
Yeah.
Unless,
I think.
Oh, you could have where, oops, Danhausen accidentally bumps into Hook, and now Hook's like, "Hey, bitch," and Danhausen's like, "No, Danhausen didn't do that."
And then Hook leaves, and Danhausen's by himself, and 2-on-1, and he loses. All right, so those are good two scenarios. So which one you're going with?
Nah, they win. They win. They
Hookhausen.
shake hands, throw some chips on the guys. We all cheer to start the show. We're all happy.
Yeah, I got Hookhausen as well. I love this team. It's two of my favorite talents in all of pro wrestling. Tagging up, they don't make sense. That's why I like it, because they're polar opposites. But for some reason, they do make sense because it feels like they're outcast, and that's probably what they're bonding on over, even though that's not what they're talking about. I think, though, future booking this, I think Hookhausen wins this. But I think the part that's going to break our heart in a month, 2 months, 3 months from now is just like you said, Danhausen's going to slip on a banana peel, cost the match. Hook's not going to like it. Hook. And then he's going to turn heel, because I think the smart move here you had mentioned is like, do we build Hook all the way to the, main event? Well, no, that's a little bit too quick. Right. But we're all, starry eyed and in love with Hook. And it's kind of like, it parallels, I guess. But when The Rock joined the corporation, I feel like that's what a Hook heel turn will do, right? Because The Rock was on this ascension to the top, and oh my God, he's the best. Well, he can't do anything wrong. And then he joins the McMahons, and we're like, well, fuck you, right? Hook beating up Danhausen. I won't get to the main event effect that did, but it will still get the desired reaction of like, you asshole, you beat up one of our favorites, because if he beats up another, mid-card babyface, let's say it's Sami Guevara, we're gonna be like, well, yeah, Sami Guevara fucking sucks, but you beat up Danhausen. Now we're gonna be mad.
Oh man, that guy doesn't get it. You can't beat up that guy.
Exactly. So
right ahead.
I think this is gonna be, the seeds are planted to get us to fall in love with this team, to then break our heart, into the summer, winter sometime.
To hook us.
Oh, look at this.
Yep.
Hey, all right. So then let's keep it going. We've got the TNT. Yep, that's right. TNT champion match. TNT. Oh, no. Sorry. Scratch that. Take two. It is the AEW TBS championship match. I couldn't remember if it was TNT or TBS. TBS is for the women. Jade Cargill, your champion, taking on Anna Jay. What happens here?
Jade Cargill wins this.
Easy.
Easy. No, something else is going to happen to continue a story with Jade and the baddies or somebody else, right? Like they may.
What do you
set the
think
stage
about
for
the
something
baddies?
else. I love this addition to the Jade Cargill character. We were getting a little stale. Sterling's doing this job, right? He's doing the heel speak, but she's definitely not needing him anymore for that. And so now this helps, right? It'll give her some lackeys on the outside while she's still learning some more things in the ring, even though she's taking to it like with the speed of like a Kurt Angle. Man, all great so far. I mean, eventually something happens with one of the baddies, and they've got to beat her ass, and you know what I mean. Like all of this is money. I love it. Love all of it.
Yeah, and I actually really love the evolution of Red Velvet, because when Red Velvet would come out and she would just do the stir it up, like she has like a presence to her, right? She doesn't look out of place in an AEW ring, but that character kind of had nothing to it. And I'm not saying like, oh, now she's ready to be champion, but her promo skills, it seems like she's more comfortable saying like, I'm gonna talk some shit. And so I like that part of her character is being developed. Kiera Hogan, I'm still iffy on. I know she came from Impact, and in Impact she did well and she did some fun things. So far in AEW though, it seems like she's a little bit intimidated by the moment. Like maybe, oh shit, I'm on TNT or TBS. That's a big opportunity. Don't fuck it up. And that's what kind of looks like on her face. But I do like the baddies as well. I got Jade Cargill easy, right? This was kind of a thrown together match as well. Kind of felt last minute. Hey, we got to have a TBS championship match. So let's do this. However, I think maybe I'm giving Tony Khan a little bit too much credit here. I think this is where something happens. Someone debuts, someone reemerges as the top contender. Now, who that is, I couldn't tell you. I don't really know the women's independent scene that well, but I can see someone.
No, it's too soon for the two that we'll discuss later to be showing up.
Right. Yeah. But someone, or even maybe Tony Storm does a pivot and says, hey, not in the Owen Hart tournament anymore, but I'm coming for you, Jade Cargill. That could be something. But I don't think Jade Cargill just does her slam, does the pose, and we walk her back, and then we just forget about it in 20 minutes. I think they're going to do something to where they say, Friday night on Rampage, Jade Cargill gets confronted with that new person who showed up at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Jade Cargill wins.
Yeah, Jade Cargill, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, now let's move on to another. Now, I will say this. The feud has been developed, but I think it's gone on a touch too long. So it's a 6-man tag team match. The House of Black taking on Death Triangle. Again, this has all the makings of a good feud. If someone, I think, was a casual, like coming over to your house, watching this pay-per-view with you, they would get like, oh, these 6 people don't like each other. It's 3-on-3. And we would understand that too. We could give them some back history of like, so what they did to Penta was they fucked him up and now he's dark and all this, right? Like we can tell them things. I just feel like maybe 2 months too long. What do you think?
I agree with you, but also 2 months too long, but also not in depth enough. We didn't get a whole lot of spooky stuff between the Death Triangle and the House of Black, right? Like there wasn't any. We've got Chris Jericho doing more dark arts than we've got either of these two groups. And so it just doesn't really, like, this should have been higher on the card and done later when there wasn't other things going on, perhaps. So
I agree. Now, I will also say, while you've been on holiday, when I've been doing these solo shows, one of the things I keep saying about the House of Black, all sizzle, no steak. And what I mean by that is a lot of smoke and mirrors, but when at times, when they say action, not a lot of stuff is happening. What do you think about the House of Black?
Well, yeah, it's like the goth kids. It's like, all right, cool, you wear all the stuff, but man, you can't really do a voodoo hex on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you ain't got
now
it.
Their entrance.
You really got it. You're cosplaying.
Yeah. Now their entrance might steal the show. Their entrance is captivating. So that could be one of the moments of this whole pay-per-view is whatever elaborate, entrance they decide to do. Yeah, both teams, but especially House of Black. House of Black with that scary, spooky yelling in the back of their music. I like that. But yeah, I got the House of I'm going Death Triangle. And you know why I'm going Death Triangle?
Why?
I think because they flirted with, hey, House of Black, while they're also feuding with Death Triangle, they're also beating up Fuego del Sol and the Dark Order. So I think maybe they come out, Fuego, does a little spinny Rudy hipty tooty, how's your mother, to Malachi Black. That costs him the match. Death Triangle gets the win.
This is a match that feels like if we're Tony Khan, right, and we're sitting here and we're booking everything out, right, we're like, here's the match card, here's who's gonna win. You start with here's the main event, here's how we want the show to end, we know how we want the show to begin, and then when you're shaking it out, it's based on like, okay, well, we got 4 heels winning over here, 2 faces winning over here. I mean, neither of these really fit either of those. They both feel like they're tweeners. I think House of Black is playing the role of the heel in this,
right?
And so it's kind of one of those where I won't be shocked either way because it's going to be there to balance out the card. But I guess I will go with Death Triangle.
Another reason why I'm going Death Triangle is this just came to me. I believe there's been a 6-man tag between House of Black, but not a full Death Triangle. Remember when Eric Redbeard came into AEW and he got with Pac and Penta, but they lost? So now that Death Triangle is whole, right? The triangle is complete with Rey Fenix. Now they're going to get the win. So that's why they get the win.
Yeah. If I can make a suggestion.
Let's hear it.
Let's rename the Eric Redbeard. I don't know what, but I think something needs to change there.
I mean, he's Eric and he does have a red beard. So it is pretty spot on.
Yeah, but they don't call me Timmy Big Dick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I mean, some people might call me that. I haven't heard it. You know? At least not any time in the last week or so. So.
Oh, God, that was good. That caught me off guard. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Okay. That was good. So if this, okay, let's get back
work, by the way. At least not,
we're not
headphones.
Yeah, they're all by all means. Now I don't know if this is the layout of the card, but if so, if you're going from a 6-man tag of flippy shits with House of Black versus Death Triangle, what I see next is more flips and shits. It's the Hardys, as I mentioned, taking on the Young Bucks. Now, the Hardys and Young Bucks haven't actually like feuded, right? But the Hardys alongside Red Wagon took out Sting. And if you notice on this card, if you're playing along at home and you're looking at the card, there's an obvious omission that is not on this pay-per-view. And I think this is where he comes in and he's like, you hurt my dad, I'm fucking you up, Hardys. And so I think the Young Bucks. So I got the Hardys beating the Young Bucks because of Darby Allin. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to the Hardys. They cut a damn good promo on Dynamite for this match. Jeff Hardy had a dumb joke. But
yeah, what did you think about the goat thing?
Yeah, that
was
great. That was dumb. But first of all, Jeff Hardy normally flubs his lines, and he didn't here. And it was all very believable stuff, right? It was like, no, you guys are just cosplaying as us the whole time. Like, we were better than you then. We're better than you now. We're better than, like, this is a joke. Like, you guys couldn't, this ain't it. And we're going to show you, like, we still, he was like, even when we're middle-aged, raging or whatever the hell he said, I forget what but loved it. And I don't know, man. I get the feel that the Hardys might go over here, but I also get the feel where the Hardys are the kind of guys that be like, no, we should put over the young kids. And even though the Young Bucks are the old guys now too, honestly. So,
yeah, they're both old.
I guess if I got to make a pick here, I'm going to go with the Hardys.
I'm going Hardys because of the Darby Allin thing. I don't think, because I don't think you can just beat up Sting. Because again, maybe he's legit injured, breaking kayfabe, because he's not. Well, I don't know, man. Did you see how he no-sold that chair shot from Kyle O'Reilly? He does a great no-sell of like really hard shots to his back. 62 years old.
To sell, you just bam, 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 right?
Yeah.
You just get up in there.
Maybe.
Titty twister and a nut punch.
I know all those moves.
Yeah.
But I just think, the Hardys injuring.
You know all of
those? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you practice a lot.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But the Hardys, or excuse me, I keep saying the Hardys, the Young Bucks injuring Sting, I don't think they can just then go like, and then we've gone to Tampa and we're just going on with our life. Like Darby Allin is a demented soul and he has the one friend in this world, and it's Sting, and they hurt him. So he has to do something.
What were they calling themselves? Were they hoodlums or were they?
Yeah, the hoodlums.
They were hoodlums.
No, it was hoodlums.
Hoodlums. I am a hoodlum or whatever.
Yeah, I am a hoodlum.
It was
yeah.
like, no, you're from Chicago or something like whatever,
right.
you know, like that. Or what? Not even Chicago. It was like, where the fuck is Sting from? He's like from fucking California or some shit. I don't know.
Real life, Sting is from Nebraska. Steve Borden is from Nebraska.
Nebraska. Hey,
but Sting
from Nebraska.
Yeah, but Sting is from Venice Beach. Remember Venice Beach, California. But yeah,
which
so
is also not. He's not from the hoodlum part of that. If we're to understand who Sting was, but
that's true. So yeah, here you go. Before we gotta run through this card, what do you think about? I want some of your feedback on this. So Darby Allin, not on the card. Sting, now it looks like actually due to injury, not on this card. Also, though, missing is FTR. What do you think about FTR not being on Double or Nothing?
Interesting, because they are killing it right now. And a matter of fact, like we have, let's go out to the Twitterverse. You had a conversation while live tweeting, which by the way, Tom is out there live tweeting every AEW Dynamite. And so talk to him. Use hashtag tweet the table for sure. We encourage that, but sometimes we're just going to steal it and you put it on a public forum. So we're going to use it right here anyway. So
yeah,
if you talk to us, you might wind up on this show. Fair warning. And you said FTR with the theme and babyface turn have been outstanding in 2022. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. And at Derek J Speaks, he said one of the hottest acts in wrestling today. They're on the run of their lives. They're already in the running for best tag team of the year. And man, yeah, I agree. FTR is top. You could argue very solidly they're the best tag team going right now, right? I mean, you could easily bring a lot of arguments to it. I'm going to talk about a tag team later in this show, but neck and neck with that team that I'm going to talk about, I think, at least for right now, is FTR. FTR is killing it. They are wrestling everywhere. They're holding titles. They're holding great storylines. They're very believable characters. They have sunk into who they are. They have just the whole thing down. Even if they were to leave and go back to WWE, you got to keep the FTR name, and that's who you are.
Mm-hmm. I even think the thing that they should be applauded for doing is the babyface turn. Wasn't this big, we turned on MJF and now the crowd goes wild because we're baby faces. They just did a small little tweak of like, hey, we're going to stop trying to be jerks, but we're not going to stop kicking ass. And like, okay, cool. I've been there, right? Like, I'm going to try to be a better person today. Might not work. I know I'm good at one thing. I'm going to kick some ass. So that's what I'm going to keep on doing. And so I like that. It wasn't this big heroic, we'll talk about Wardlow in a moment, and he did that, and that was cool, and that was warranted. But FTR didn't, but I thought that fit better for who FTR is. So it's a little bit disappointing that they're not on the card because, like we've been talking about, they've been absolutely outstanding, and this is one of the best or biggest cards of the year, so you would think they would be on it. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out moving forward. All right, now let's get into the first real gimmick match of the night. It is Anarchy in the Arena. The Jericho Appreciation Society, which is Chris Jericho, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia, and that waste of space, Jake Hager, taking on Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz, and the Blackpool Combat Club, which consists of Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. This is going to be weird, right?
This is going to be weird. I mean, I think it's going to be okay, right? Like, they're going to go all over the venue. It's going to be a street fight. Mox is going to do great in that. Kingston's going to do great in that. Jericho always does great in these things. He's going to provide some comic relief. Hager's going to manhandle the shit out of some people. The 2.0 guys are going to fucking kill it here. They kill it in everything.
Yeah.
God, they kill it. They are the best. Santana and Ortiz, know how to get down and dirty in these things, and even toe the line of comic relief and stuff like that. It hit me how much I'm liking this Jericho Appreciation Society this week. And I know I hate the name, but I think that even works better because it's a heel group. You're supposed to not like these guys.
True.
Right? If they had a cool name, like when the Inner Circle, like that was a cool name. We were going to like that, right? But this is dumb. You're not going around bragging about this. You're not like, look, you're not buying a shirt for this. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, so,
right.
Love it. Yeah. I love even the stuff like with the Wizard. It's like, yeah, good. We're supposed to hate Jericho. We're supposed to not like it. Well, I mean, you know,
the Grand Wizard.
Yeah, that's a little close, Jericho. But the like flame stuff, like it doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. For me, I'm like, all right, if you're going to be kind of cool, you got to do some of those things where I'm like, no, that's stupid, right? Like, I don't like that.
Right.
So I think it's working well. We have a tweet talking about one of these people. So let's get to that real quick. And you said on Twitter, God bless Eddie Kingston, hashtag AEW Dynamite. And at Tim, it's at Tam Lynn 48. Tammy Lynn, I see what's going on here. At TAMMLYN 48 says, I love me some Eddie Kingston. Eddie and John make one hell of a tag team. And yes, they do. That's why this is all going to gel well. The Blackpool Combat Club is all about violence. They're going to go in and be violent. We're going to get some violence. I don't think we're going to walk away saying like this absolutely stole the show, but I don't think we're going to be like, man, they really stunk that up.
I agree. I think this is going to be really fun. I think you're going to get some really good comedy spots out of, again, we don't know their new name, but we're going to keep calling them 2.0 until they get a new name. But the 2.0 guys are going to do great. Santana and Ortiz can be comedy relief. If you remember in the Stadium Stampede when Ortiz didn't know. Yeah. Well, no, Ortiz didn't know how to swim. So he had to go in a 2-foot pool and he's walking like, backwards.
Get your bitch ass in here.
He's like,
I still, as much as I love that whole match, the thing that always sticks out is they fucking drown Matt Hardy, and they're even like, yeah, there. Now he's dead. And he's like, yeah, he's dead. That's what he fucking gets.
Yeah.
Love
They're great. Honestly, I think the person who I'm most interested in seeing in this environment is Bryan Danielson, because he is the technical wrestler. Now, yes, he's violent, but he's always violent with technique, right? So he's going to do like
in the ring. It's knee
strikes. But he's always going to, he's going to do like an arm bar, but while he's doing the arm bar, he's going to grind his leg across your nose. And you're like, that fucking hurts, right?
He's going to use stuff, right? He's going to grab things and like press people's face into it.
Yeah, but with this is just out in the open. There is no throw him off the ropes kind of thing. So how is he going to kind of get his shit in, you know, if you want to say that, with all of these guys like Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, who's been doing this forever. Like, I wonder where he's going to fit in with this. And I bring up Bryan Danielson. No, hold on. Who are you going with?
Oh, who we think's winning?
Yeah, who you got?
So this can go either way because somebody can win this anywhere for any, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Yep.
Anything can happen. So I'm going to go Jericho Appreciation Society because I think they're going to, that's a team that can use that bullet moving forward about how they beat their team's ass. And then it can cause dissension between the other groups.
Well, this is where I think this is going to be the genesis of the next great story in AEW. And I think it's going to be because they alluded to it on Dynamite 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, but Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson already say, hey, we don't really like each other that much, right? Like, we're not the best of friends. And they kind of did some pushing and shoving where Jon Moxley had to, you know, play the peacekeeper. And so I think Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston are going to be at each other's throats because of some mistimed move or something like that. Eddie Kingston's going to be pushing Bryan Danielson. Chris Jericho is going to get his old ass, who's now on the gas, and roll up Eddie Kingston, get the 3 count. And then we're going to Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson, fuck you, which then puts Jon Moxley square in the middle. And we're going to find out where Jon Moxley's allegiance lies. Is it with this new Blackpool Combat Club, or is it with his good old best friend, Eddie Kingston? And that's a story that's going to be great.
There's
Eddie
another 3-on-3 ready to go.
Oh,
Kingston
yeah. Just
and LAX.
Yep, exactly. And then you can throw in Yuta, and it's going to be Bryan Danielson, John Moxley, and Yuta, because he's not in this thing now.
And they can even then eventually at the end of that is where they can introduce a fourth member who helps them get over Kingston and the things like the Blackpool Combat Club's rolling along. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you could do out of this. Yeah.
And John Moxley, like in the way that I would book this scenario, which I think will happen, is John Moxley sides with the Blackpool Combat Club, which then puts Eddie Kingston out in the cold. And there's no one better on this roster. Maybe Hangman, but no one else better than Eddie Kingston playing the Scorn, Left for Dead baby face that's just going to scorch the earth once he gets his feet underneath him. I think, again, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm on step 11 and we haven't even got to step 1. But this whole thing, if it goes the way I think it does, this could take Eddie Kingston to the main event. I hope. That's my hope, at least. We'll see.
I would love that.
I would love it too. He needs at least one title for one night. You know what I mean? He needs to do the what's that Toby Keith saying? The I'm not as good, whatever,
as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
And just have that moment in the sun where he beats Scorpio Sky or whoever it is. And then the next Wednesday he loses, right? But like we need that one time for Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, we need our Zack Ryder moment with
Eddie
Kingston.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got Jericho Appreciation Society because again, they're the team. They're going to be moving on. We're probably going to do some type of celebration thing on a Dynamite that moves them to whatever they're doing next. All right. So now let's get into one of the marquee matches of Double or Nothing. It is a singles match, 1-on-1. MJF taking on Wardlow. So Tim, haven't talked to you in a while. Tell me all your thoughts on this whole, since Revolution to now Double or Nothing, Wardlow, MJF, the whole ride. What do you think?
They've done it so great. People have taken to Wardlow and are behind this guy like he's Goldberg, right? I guess I wouldn't have thought it was going to take that way as well. And because even when they started, I was like, oh man, they might be doing this too early. But no, it's working. It's fitting great. Leading up into AEW Dynamite's cage match, which we actually have a hashtag tweet the table about that. Reminder, we are GDU's hashtag tweet the table. That lets us know, hey, read this on the show, make me famous. And we might. We might. At Devil Vamp says, loved this opening cage match. Just wish he would have used MJF's hand to count the 1, 2, 3. Other than that, Wardlow. Hashtag tweet the table. Man, that whole presentation was great. That cage match, start to finish, was amazing.
Sean Spears did his part, 10 out of 10. MJF selling that. Go ahead.
Sean Spears, when Wardlow does like the he's rising behind him and looks back. Credit to Sean Spears because he didn't even act scared. He was just kind of like, all right, I knew this was coming. About to die now. You know what I mean? He was just kind of like, he just had that look of like, oh yeah, the game's over now. Like it was just Powerbomb Symphony from there, and it was great.
Yeah, well, I will tell you and the listening audience, if you haven't watched Road to Dynamite, I think it was, that AEW put on their YouTube channel, Sean Spears cuts a promo where before that, Wardlow's talking about how Sean Spears is going to be afraid to get in the cage with Wardlow. And Sean Spears pulls out one of the greatest promos I've ever seen from him in my life, where he talks about how his father kind of got hanging around the wrong people and he had to watch his father get tortured. And then he then got tortured. And he's like, I went through that. There's nothing on this earth that scares me. And you're like, motherfucker. Like I'm kidding. I'm not kidding you at all. I'll send it to you. It was an amazing promo.
Yeah. And
so like going into the steel cage match after I saw that, because I don't typically watch those, it came up as like a suggestion on YouTube. I was like, man, you know what? Give it to Sean Spears. Fuck Wardlow for a night. But nonetheless, Wardlow gets the victory. But MJF selling that chair shot to the head. Yeah. Now it was unprotected, but he acted dead the entire time. I even like when he rolled out and he was looking back at the cage. He was like, what happened? Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Like it was fantastic. Yeah. Now
I loved the I think I counted it was 13 security guards, one by one. He's just wham, 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 just fucking jabbing them down, right?
Oh, and then he threw that one into the abyss in between the cage and the ring.
I rewound that and watched that on slow-mo so many times. All right, he's got the guy up. He throws him at the thing. He literally looks like a starfish when he hits it. When he starts falling, his left leg is still sticking up in the air. It basically smacks the ring apron as he's getting swallowed up, and then his leg follows him in. He's probably folded up in there.
Oh my God.
It was probably even worse than it looked. And I love that. As bad as it was, guy might be battered, bruised, broken. The announcers were fucking dying of laughter. They were like, I fucking killed that guy. Loved every minute of it. That was so fun.
Yeah. It was great. Now, with all that being said, before we get into our predictions of this match, there is one thing that I need to point out, and it actually happened also in the Jericho Appreciation Society segment, and it's the camera work of AEW. Okay. So I'll talk about two things here.
We have a tweet about that too.
Right. Let me tell you a little bit first about my two observations. First, the Jericho Appreciation Society, whoever shot that had the camera out of focus the entire time. Now I understand they did a fireball spot to some guy. They probably didn't want to do it twice because they don't want this poor bastard to go through, trauma as an extra, right? But that your camera was out of focus to start shows the lack of professionalism you have. And then second, in this cage match, you had the moment where Wardlow gets to the top and does his I'm the king of the world thing. Right? And we got too ahead of ourselves, and we went to MJF watching him, and then we tried to catch Wardlow and we didn't, and it's
well, and the thing about that is that you'd already showed that shot of MJF. He had already hand on his head, freaking out. You already showed it twice or so already, and then that bothered me as it happened. I was like, oh, you missed the shot.
Yeah.
I understand you understand he might not have been doing that, but
it's just,
again, you already showed the MJF thing. The MJF thing didn't need to get cut to, right? Write it out. See what he's about to do up there on the top of the cage. He's probably not just going to go up there and stand there and be like, look at me now. Right? He's going to do something up there, or he's going to fall off, which, hey, you better catch that.
Something. But that it just seems week after week. And honestly, this is their third year, their 3-year anniversary. Year after year. Our criticism is this. So go ahead.
Well, so you said the camera work has got to get better for AEW. Missing shots and some are out of focus. Not a great look. Hashtag AEW Dynamite, which is what you said here. And at PW Surge, out there at Pro Wrestling Surge, said not quite as bad as 2001 WCW, but it's not that far ahead. And then they signed it CP, which I don't know who that is there. But, well, listen. You can compare everything and say not quite as bad as 2001 WCW, right? What was 2001 WCW doing better than most other things?
Well, but I think the indictment is that the comparison can be made to anything from 2001 WCW.
It's not that far ahead. You're not dead last because nothing can be worse than what was dead last. But man, if there's 10, you're coming in at a solid 8.5.
Right, exactly. And so this is, again, we've talked about this before.
As bad as the ROH lights that we used to complain about.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And it's just, I get it. We're throwing in Samoa Joes, Malachi Blacks, Johnny Elites all around, and it's all fun. But there has to be some type of improvement from the production crew. This can't be the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world, and you got going on TBS nationwide an unfocused shot of a team just walking in the background. What the fuck, guys? I've said this till I'm blue in the face, and I'll keep saying it until it changes, but the only new hires that need to be made in AEW are behind the camera, not in front of it.
Not in front of it.
So, with all that being said, let's get back into, we have the singles match of.
Feel free to chat with us if you're watching live. We got a couple viewers on the YouTube. Feel free to chat in with your thoughts on it. We might read them right here. Hang out, talk to us. Use hashtag tweet the table throughout the week, and we'll bring you up here as well. But Tom, back into the AEW Double or Nothing card.
Yes, and I want to get your opinion on one thing too, because I think I made this observation on Twitter at Table Show when I was live tweeting. Wardlow walks out, no music. So we're going forward. Are you keeping the no music, or what are we doing with the music?
The whole thing is, a couple people have done this during different times, and I think it works in the short term. But I think the problem is, if somebody sticks with it, it then becomes their thing. We can't do it for anybody else. And the longer they're able to successfully do it, the more that will become true in perpetuity for everybody in the wrestling industry. I think it works for moments when it fits, right? Like, I'm so antisocial that I'm not even doing music. I don't even like this, right? Or, oh, I've been punished, and so I can't even have music, right? Like, part of the whole thing of the circus is the music hits and everybody goes ding, we're supposed to cheer or boo now, right? Like, weird as that sounds, I don't want to sound like we need to dumb it down or anything like that, but it's
Pavlov's dog,
part of the circus. So I like it when used for whatever reason, but I think, like, now that he's free of the chains, we get some more dog music.
Well, so let me get your reaction to this. This is one thing I was thinking. Throughout this entire feud, MJF keeps calling him War Pig or War, right? Is it War Pig that he keeps on? War Pig?
Pig, yeah.
Right. Well, War Pig is also what he keeps saying, right?
Wardlow, he calls him War Pig.
And there's a pretty famous song, and we know Tony Khan pays that money, but Black Sabbath's War Pig, huh? What do you think about that? Walking out to that?
Yeah,
he owns the nickname. You know what I mean?
The MJF look.
Black Sabbath.
So what does Wardlow do? So you have Wardlow winning?
Yes. Yeah. Because look, MJF.
Or do we milk this?
No, MJF will try to get his revenge. That's then the second part of this story. Is Wardlow conquered him? MJF kept on. That
doesn't even have to be immediate either.
Yeah. And MJF can do the whole, hey, you motherfucker, you beat me. I'm coming after you. And I'm also coming after you with monsters. Here's, Karrion Kross, or here's Bray Wyatt. Like, he can bring in these, like, one time. He can bring back Nick Gage to go after Wardlow.
So, listen, we pulled up Lane before. Remember they did the Hangman thing, and then they were like, nah, pause. So, I mean, we could go with MJF cheats to win somehow.
Yeah, and that wouldn't shock me. I just think, unfortunately,
I think Wardlow.
No. And the reason also why I don't think it's going to happen where MJF gets the win is we have enough history now where he does amazing in the program and he's the shining star, but then he does the favors for the babyface. Because if you go back, he lost to CM Punk, even though he beat him twice, but the end of that story was CM Punk beating him, right? Go back before that, he makes Chris Jericho go through the 5 labors of Jericho and all of that. But then at the very end, Chris Jericho beats MJF. And so I think MJF does need those wins from time to time. Like, he beat Darby Allin in the pay-per-view with the side headlock. Remember that? Even though he cheated, which was in a fantastic match. But I think MJF role is get the program week to week to week to week to then get the pay-per-view where you get to see me get my ass kicked by, Hangman or whoever.
I think it'll leave him free for something that we'll discuss later. So I think Wardlow wins.
I like all of this foreshadowing you're doing. I hope you're keeping notes because I'm really interested in all these things. Right. The tag team that you mentioned, I don't even know who that is.
I remember all these things.
Yeah, I hope you do too. Write it down. All right, so now let's get into the Owen Hart Cup Tournament Finals.
Okay.
Let's start with the match we know, and then we'll go to the match we don't fully know. So the match we know is on the men's side. We're getting Samoa Joe taking on Adam Cole, baby. Who you got in this?
All right. I kind of wonder if we should bring up the tweet well, let's not, because the tweet expands upon what we'll say here. I think we're getting Adam Cole wins.
Yep.
He'll cheat somehow. Samoa Joe still got a title. He's focused on the ROH thing. Adam Cole, baby, gets a trophy of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole, baby. Baby.
I think it plays perfect for Adam Cole to win this. Couple things. I think Samoa Joe is going to get screwed over by Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and then the big guy. Can't think of his name right now. Sanjay Singh, maybe that's it. Nailed it. Also, so that's how I think Samoa Joe loses, is that trio of Ring of Honor talent messes with Samoa Joe to cost him the match. But I think for Adam Cole to win the Owen Hart Cup tournament final, and I know that the rivalry was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, but from all accounts, Adam Cole is in the Shawn Michaels camp. He is a Shawn Michaels HBK fanboy.
Bret Hart guy, yeah.
Right. And for him to win that, yes. And so for him to win this and then to just rub it in your face that I'm the first winner, oh, the heat would be amazing. So I think it plays perfect that Adam Cole wins this match.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, I think Adam Cole wins. Let's talk about, you had a Twitter interaction here. At Derek J Speaks Again, he first said, would not put it past them to have the men's and women's Owens Cup winners be Britt Baker and Adam Cole. Could easily see that as a visual on Sunday. I personally hope they go a different direction, but I wouldn't be shocked by it. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. And you said, that's what it's going to be, isn't it? Damn it, I think you're right. And Derek responded, he said, hey, I'm all for giving Chris Statlinger a push and giving her the win and building her up as a future challenger for Jade. I'd tease the Jamie Hayter interference again, but this time it backfires and costs Britt the victory. So where do you think we're going with that?
He put out two great scenarios that I think are very easily to see, right? You could see the couple holding hands with their trophy in the other hand as they walk down to the aisle and rub it in everyone's faces. They kiss. Have them wear hearts all over their t-shirts, not Shawn Michaels gear. They can't, right?
No, but it's hearts, right? But they're wearing the Shawn Michaels like jagged broken heart, right?
Yeah, the broken hearts, right? Yeah, all the things.
Dagger in it, right?
Yeah. I could see that 1,000,000%. I could also see
Young Bucks would do.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Now, Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlinger. Let's get to that before we get to whoever the winner is taking on Britt Baker. Who do you think wins that match? Because those are two baby faces. So what do you think there?
I think Chris Statlander. I think they're all in on a push on her with a new, not necessarily new identity, but kind of trimmed down Darker. The weirdness, right? Yeah, got a little more serious, got her away from the best friends. So I think they're going with Chris Statlander because, again, I think Ruby Soho is in a position where I don't think it's helping her much. I don't think they're going to have her win the thing, So, yeah.
By the way, did you see when Chris Statlander and Red Velvet faced off and Chris Statlander did the push press with one arm? She pushed her up and then held her up with one arm. Yeah. That takes some balance and some core strength from Red Velvet as well, but that takes some fucking
Bianca did
shoulder
that with
strength
recently, right? But like, there's not
really
many that can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some strength.
That's Sasha, who may or may not exist anymore, but
Who? Anyhow, so I got Chris Statlander as well. I think Chris Statlander is going to be the one that, goes into the match because I don't know, because Ruby Soho still has the song that everyone wants to sing, and she's still the shiny new toy, even though Tony Storm is now also the shiny new toy. But they've already faced off. That's why I got Chris Statlander, is because
Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander, I think, is a better story they're going to tell there. Like we've seen the Baker Soho. Right?
So we already saw that, right? So yeah, I'm going Statlander, but then I'm going Statlander. No, I'm going Statlander because I do think Britt Baker needs the next chapter. And if you've noticed, she's been doing a lot of, hey, I'm going to walk out to the ring by myself. I don't need you to go back to the back, because even though she missed her spot,
she even told Hayter, no, don't do this, even though it helped her.
Yeah. And even though she missed her spot and she didn't actually hold her hands,
face turn.
Something. I think we're getting
Hayter
something.
Tries to interfere. She tells her, no, I got this. I can beat this bitch. And she tries again, costs her, and now they have beef, and we start going that route. And Jamie Hayter's like, bitch, I own all of your fucking victories. I've helped you all of them. I'm not just gonna listen to your orders because you don't know what the fuck you need. I know what you need.
Yeah, a reverse Wardlow and MJF, where it's the heel assistant instead of the babyface.
It's getting out of
Yeah,
control.
exactly.
Yep. And so yes, then we get Chris Statlander winning the Owen Hearts, right? Which is good. Good feather in her cap.
And the thing is that we haven't really got clarification on is what does the winner get? Right? So what I would do here, well, I know they're like trophy, but like there should be also like you won this to then get reward, to that.
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. So I would think you give
secondary
both,
titles.
Yeah, I think you give Adam Cole and Chris Statlander shots at the TNT and TBS championships respectively.
Titles, right?
Yeah. I think that's where you go. Adam Cole can take on Sammy Guevara.
They're the network titles.
Exactly. You have Adam Cole taking on Sammy Guevara, because I think eventually Sammy Guevara is going to win that back, right? But Adam Cole's going to then push Sammy Guevara, kind of get the fuck out of here, kid. Now this championship means something.
Got the whole girlfriend and wife thing,
right?
Story you can tell there again too.
Yeah, I just think getting Adam Cole the championship then revamps that title, because ever since Sammy Guevara got it from Cody, it's kind of going like this a little bit. Yep. And no offense to Scorpio Sky, but it's still going like this. Well, and so Adam Cole,
main event player, we've seen that now. So like,
yeah,
it's no longer on a main event player.
Right. And so Adam Cole is a main event player. So getting the title on him, I think would be good. And then for Chris Statlander, look, I know she lost, I think once already to Jade Cargill, but strength versus strength, I'm 100% into that, right? We talk about big meaty men slapping meat. I'm into big buff bitches punching each other in the face. You know what I mean? Like, I like that too. So Chris Statlander, Jade Cargill.
Bumping biceps.
Yes. Yes.
Name the episode title.
Right. That's what we're going to push. Yeah. I would like to see Chris Statlander take on Jade Cargill for the TBS championship. I think that would be good. So we'll see what happens there, but that's what I would like for the winners to get is the network championships.
Like that.
All right. So now let's move on to the top tier titles here. We're going to get our first of the 3 top tier championship matches with a three-way tag team match. It is champions Jurassic Express, which is Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, with Christian Cage, taking on Team Taz, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, with Taz, taking on Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Now, again, I've mentioned this a couple different times, but Tim, haven't talked to you in a while. I think, and I keep saying it on our Twitter at Table Show, that Swerve Strickland is money. He may be the coolest fucking guy on the roster. Every time he just walks out and he knows that you know that he knows he's fucking cool. And you just go like, yeah, we all know this is his fact. So tell me what you think about Swerve Strickland. Tell me what you think about this match and what do you expect?
I love that we have Swerve Strickland here. I like that AEW treats itself as, you know, the whole concept of the Forbidden Door thing, right? Like they are the grand stage of like where the indies converge, if you will, right? The indies and the others converge, right? Like we all kind of meet here. This whole like when they do these MCU movies, right? And all of these characters suddenly converge. I like that with Swerve, Keith Lee, Ricky Starks. They haven't shied away from the Evolve stuff, right? And whatever else, right? Like, so Swerve, I think, is great. I think you're right. Money, I think, especially when you let him go, be himself. We had something with Hit Row, and that died so unnecessarily soon. God. So I'm glad he's here and able to do something, right? I don't think they're winning this match. I think the Team Taz is winning this match.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think Jurassic Express, I think we're getting the Christian finally is like, you guys are bums, nut punch. And I think we get this like, I think Jungle Boy is going to go on and do singles things, right? I think we're going to maybe re-examine the Luchasaurus thing and just kind of let
I'm a dinosaur. I'm telling you. That needs to be something.
A la Hangman, right? Like having anxiety issues, having self-esteem issues.
Take the mask off.
And yes, you are. And that's where we can bring in Marco Stunt back. And even then, even down the road, that's where Jungle Boy shows back up and he's like, dude, come on. Like, I know that's what I did. I know I dropped the Jungle Boy thing, but like, you didn't have to do that, man. You're a dinosaur, man. I wasn't a Jungle Boy, but you were a dinosaur. No, I'm not a dinosaur. You are a dinosaur, right?
Oh, I was thinking, well, I think you do. Again, we're getting off on a little tangent. We'll get back to our prediction here. But I think, again, going back to our favorite storyline in recent memory, I think that I think you do Luchasaurus backstage, takes the mask off, doesn't know what he's doing, goes out, wrestles on Elevation and Dark with no mask on. What the fuck? Got to see that.
Billy,
okay.
Who the fuck is this?
Right. Yeah. Whatever his real name is. He wins a couple matches, but he's not doing too great. Goes backstage 1 week, doesn't know what he's doing, kind of looking around, lost, a little bit sad. Marco Stunt just appears. And I was like, hey, man, you're a dinosaur. You're a fucking dinosaur. Obviously, he doesn't say fuck, right? But
maybe he does.
Jungle Boy that catches his attention. And he's like, hey, man, fuck that guy. He isn't a dinosaur. And then you get Jungle Boy Jack Perry taking out Marco Stunt. Because then that's the official, like, this is us wiping our hands, Marco Stunt. Because that still hasn't been explained that he's there each and every week. And then all of a sudden he's not. Jungle Boy Jack Perry beating the ever-loving shit out of him and then gets him out of the company would close that loop. And then you get Jack Perry, no Jungle Boy, versus the reemergence of I'm a dinosaur, Luchasaur. Right there for the TNT Championship. That's what you do. Anyhow.
Love it.
I think that's great.
Hey, shout out to the chat. This has to be I think we've discussed this with this person before, but you know they're a long-term listener when they say Captain Awesome Titan T-Mac.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's going back
Titan
a decade
T-Mac.
right there. Titan
Jeez.
T-Mac. They
Man.
must know you from before. They must know all your secrets.
That is a way back machine little line right there.
Please chat with us. We need friends. You need friends too. Look, you're watching YouTube podcasts about wrestling. Look.
Thanks.
I don't
We
want
love
to
it.
shit talk you for that, but like, I know when I'm doing that, I wish I had a friend to talk to about it. So,
And you can talk to us.
Be our friend.
There you go.
Be our friend.
Be our
Talk
friend.
to us. Like X0, X81. Thanks. We appreciate
you.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
Ooh, okay.
I think Team Taz takes the pin. And I think with that's then when we're going to get, oh my goodness, I'm seeing this. We'll get to it in a second.
Yes.
Well, that's when, because Jungle Boy maybe is a half second late to get to breaking up the pin. That's then Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland raise the titles. They go walk off. Luchasaurus is still in the ring. And that's when Christian turns on Jungle Boy and gives him the Kansas City Cup punch.
Oh, I love it. X0, X81 is showing their long-term fandom, talking about your rap breaks. 2015 Mania and where they at though.
Yes.
This is going back to the Cumulus days, the
Oh
corporation.
my God. The
The
corporation days.
that shunned us
Where
to
they at,
Papa
though?
Shango's basement. Where they at though?
Where they at though?
Man, that's putting in some work. You've been listening to us that long. Thank you,
T-Mac
and I
battle
apologize.
raps. That's great. Oh man,
Well, you're
that
a
is.
retired battle rapper.
I am. Well, I'm retired, so obviously we all know that. Went out on top, beat all the best. You can't come back from that. So, where they at though? That was great. Thanks for that memory.
Yes.
That was fun. I haven't thought about that in a long time. That's great. So yeah, I got after the match because Jungle Boy couldn't make it in time to break up the pin. That's then when Christian is like, you're never in the right spot. I always have to put you in the right spot to win these matches. And the one time I think you can do it, you don't do it. I'm out of here.
Boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And then that's again, if we wanted to go with I'm a dinosaur, Christian saying that Jurassic Express sucks could be the start of Luchasaurus saying like,
you're a 6'6", you're calling yourself a dinosaur? Like, you have to look down at every person in here and you're going to act like you're a dinosaur? What a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
You're a cartoon character. Like, he could just, a Christian, we haven't seen a Christian heel character in a good while.
Mm-hmm.
And man,
he can
he's
do it good.
Christian is so underrated for how good he is in every aspect of his game, I feel like. And
I wouldn't be shocked. And I wouldn't be shocked if we get the bait and switch at the end, because during the match, he could easily give a big old punch to the mouth of Taz to where we think like, oh man, he's Team Jurassic Express 100%, to then just at the very end do the like, you guys can't hang with the best of them, and I'm with the best of them, so I'm out of here. So
X0X81 was reminding me that earlier, before we started the Showtime, X0X81 will appreciate this. We were having technical difficulties, and Tom was like, how long we've been doing the show? This sounds like when you used to have this problem. And I checked it, and sure enough, it was that problem from 6 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, look at that. We got workarounds.
I just had to reset up the studio. It had been a while. Things were crossed, things weren't right, and we worked it out because now we're pros. Now we get it, even though we'll probably lose this stream midway through.
It happens. It's fine. All right, so now let's move on to, I guess, what would be the co-main event, but it's typically the women's spot because it's right before the main event. Thunder Rosa, your champion, your AEW Women's World Champion, taking on the professor of professional wrestling, Serena Deeb. Who you got?
So I want to bring up the tweet first because I think it echoes both of our sentiments about this.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear it.
At Devil Vamp, and he says, hashtag tweet the table. He says, this women's championship build has been so weird in promos. Can we just have these two beat up people and talk less? Hashtag tweet the table. Tony can't tell women's stories. That part is, is a broad statement at the end. But this, he's right on. You've talked about this. You want them to fight forever, right? Was this the? Oh no, it was.
No, that's Hikaru Shida.
But
right.
This just hasn't. I mean, look, they both tell okay promos, but neither are like, we're like, oh, it's the promo that gets you there. It's the in-ring, like, they get kind of, you're like, whoa, calm it down a little bit, right? They get violent. And I just don't think we got enough of that.
Yeah, I think that's where, X081, you're going to hear this for the 10,000th time, and that's fine. But, call back to ECW storylines. Tony Khan was an ECW fan. The way to build this story, in my opinion, is very much like what Devil Vamp said, where steal from ECW and make it the Sabu Taz storyline with these two women, where it's, I'm just killing all the people in this division, one after the other. And you're the champion, and I'm coming for you, and I'm coming for you. And then you have the champion saying, I'm having the best performances of my life. I'm still kicking ass. You can't even get to my level. And then they're just beating people to where you're like, eventually something has to break. And that's how you tell the story. You could have them not do the beat the clock thing. That's silly, right? That's been played to death in WWE. But you can have Serena Deeb say, hey, last week you wrestled this woman, right? Let's say it's Tay Conti, right? You wrestled Tay Conti and I beat her in 2 minutes faster and I made her quit. And then Thunder Rosa goes, well, all right, well then next week I got the number 2 contender, the one right underneath you, Serena Deeb. I've got whoever that is, right? Anna Jay. It's not, but Anna Jay. And then she beats her. And then you just get this like, well, fuck, these two women just cannot stand each other. And then there is where you get the match at Double or Nothing.
Right.
Instead, we're getting Dustin Rhodes with, are you hearing these dings?
No.
Okay, good. I'm getting text messages on my computer, but I just want to make sure that you weren't hearing it. I'm glad I pointed that out like a professional. Right. So yeah, but you get like Dustin Rhodes, who has half his.
Don't you know that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but like Dustin Rhodes has half of his face painted, even though he didn't have a match, and he's just walking out with this weird, I don't know what the fuck that was about, and then Thunder Rosa just doubling down on the Texas Mexican history thing. It's like, this is blech.
Dustin Rhodes has only been painting half of his face for what, a decade now? Why are we still doing that?
I think he started half the face when he came to AEW. He did the whole face as Gold Dust, and then
yeah, why?
I don't know, because now he's half cowboy, half Gold Dust. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, half natural. That should be his new nickname. Hey, they're half natural.
He should have like cowboy boots on one side and the old Gold Dust gimmick on another side.
Yeah.
Like a fucking Gold Dust Zack Ryder moment. Man, Zack Ryder got mentioned twice on this show. How about that?
Yeah, good for him.
All
but
right.
Matt Cardona, 0 mentions until now.
Yeah.
So now let's get into it. It's the main event. What we all paid our tickets for, the pay-per-views, all the fun stuff for. It is your champion, cowboy shit, Hangman Adam Page, right here, taking on old man CM Punk.
Who wins this match?
Tim, who do you got? Well, first off, what do you think about the buildup? Do you like this buildup? Because I feel like this one's kind of hot and cold.
I feel like, again, a thing we've kind of mentioned, it's felt like Hangman's been kind of the second fiddle in almost all of these, right? Like it's never been that Hangman's had to kind of defend anything. Hangman's been almost having to prove himself each time, if that makes sense. And it feels like that's kind of where we're at. I always enjoy when we get a heel turn while the person's holding the title, because that's an interesting thing to do. And we've kind of gotten that here, right? At least for the storyline, where, you know what I mean? He's doing the heel stuff to CM Punk, right? CM Punk's doing the like, hey, I don't know what the problem is, guy. Like,
right.
I'm just trying to keep this professional. But he's like, fuck you. I've hated you since birth, motherfucker. And
well,
so
I thought,
just, you know, it's interesting. But I think CM Punk's going to win this.
See, I think so too. As far as what they want, I want Hangman. I'm picking Hangman because I'm never going to not pick Hangman. So I'm picking Hangman. I don't give a shit.
It's good to know.
But I thought the angle they touched on this week where Hangman said, I'm not just defending this championship against you. I'm defending AEW against you. I thought that was gold. If you would have started that whole thing with this feud, man,
yeah,
I would have been way more interested into it, because I mean, Hangman was mentioning a lot of things where it was like, you're kind of a diva. You're kind of a bitch backstage. Like, you know,
everything we've said about CM Punk. I mean, like,
yeah,
I 100% want Hangman to win. I identify with everything he said.
Yeah.
And I like it. But
now
think it's not going to, CM Punk's going to win.
Now, on the other hand, the thing that I have been liking with this storyline is seeing the unraveling of Hangman, right? So when Hangman is holding his title and CM Punk is just standing there and the crowd starts chanting more for CM Punk, Hangman storms off because he can't take it, right? I gave you all of this. Now, again, this is where the subtleties, you can read into it what you want. The way I read into it, though, is, man, I've given you everything, crowd. I have literally like bled for you in Texas death matches. I took the championship off of the devil who is Kenny Omega. And now you're just going to cheer for this old guy? Like, fuck you, right? That's how he stormed off. And then this week, when CM Punk is like, shake my hand, shake my hand, shake my hand, and Hangman finally punches him, and you see CM Punk grin, and then Hangman gets upset with himself because he just played right into his hand. It's like, fuck yes. And so my issue, though, with the entire buildup is those things have just been touched on. It's just been like dashes. It's like salt. You know what I mean? Like little salt that you add to a nice dish. Because instead we're getting, you know, CM Punk does the buckshot lariat, and then Hangman does the go to sleep, and it's like, well, that's okay, but like, that's not really a story. That's just, I can tell that could have been done with Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb, right? That's what you should have done with those two. This, though, could have been something, and I felt like it was too many things of nothing, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. I agree with you. I think it was it fell flat a little bit for me, which I think we've been complaining about a lot with the Hangman stuff.
But I wouldn't mind if CM Punk turns heel in this, because if any one of the two needs a little restart, even though CM Punk, it's fun to cheer CM Punk, that's kind of muscle memory, I think, to fans.
Right.
I think his character's kind of flat. post MJF. I'm not, the MJF stuff was outstanding. I'm not going to shit on that as if he never did anything good. But I think we're all kind of waiting for the devil CM Punk. You know what I mean? The guy in Ring of Honor who signed his WWE contract on the championship, the Straight Edge Society CM Punk. Like, that's the guy I think we're waiting for in AEW, because in AEW, he can push it to the limit.
So here in the chat on the YouTube stream, which we encourage you to do, chat with us on the YouTube. X0X81 says, if Punk turns heel, does it make Hangman look like an ineffectual wuss?
So are we saying, hold on. So if you're still in there in the chat, so are you saying that Punk wins, or are you just saying Punk turns heel, but Hangman can still overcome? Because then Hangman looks like the greatest thing in the world, right? Like, so I think he's assuming that Punk would win that, right? I would say it depends on how he turns heel. If he turns heel where it's a steel pipe to the back of the head where the ref didn't see it, well then no, right? Like, it's steel pipe or whatever.
He hangs the guy. No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if he just does kind of like a smoke and mirrors thing where Hangman looks dumb for trusting him in a spot and CM Punk takes advantage of that and then gets the win that way, yeah, then he's going to look stupid, right? Like if he does well, he wouldn't grab the ropes. Oh, he grabbed the ropes and I lost. Like, that'll make him look like an idiot. But if it's something dastardly, no, I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
But where would he go? That's the thing. CM Punk turns heel. We got some fun shit to do, right? Because now we got the devil in AEW. I mean, look at him as a babyface. He causes controversy with the t-shirts he wears as a babyface, which I don't necessarily disagree with him. No other story. But imagine what he does as a heel. You know what I'm saying? Like, then he's really going to be
he's trying to
getting under people's skin as a babyface.
As a babyface.
So what can he do as a heel? Like, that's what I'm excited for. So I think you keep it on Hangman, because what would be the second story of Hangman?
CM Punk wins this. I think he gets dark, and then he leads the Dark Order in dark. And then
CM Punk?
Shake. No.
Oh, Hangman.
Ooh. And then they've got to even shake, because he's become toxic when he used to try to rail against toxicity, and now he's the toxic one.
I don't mind that. I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind if Dark Order cost Hangman the match either. CM Punk stays babyface, just wins the championship. Somehow Dark Order comes out to support their guy, ends up fucking him. That wouldn't be bad either. But no.
You don't think you
go
can
fuck your no, go fuck your mother right here. Hangman, cowboy shit, baby. Right here.
Punk wins.
You're lying.
Nope. Punk wins, and X0X81 agrees with me. So, all right. So that's the card, right? That is Double or Nothing. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. So let's just do a quick kind of high level expectations. What do you think is going, like, we don't know, right? Again, because Friday could tell us a little bit more of what this card's going to be. But on this Thursday night, what are you looking forward to the most? What do you think will be the show stealer, or what do you think? The
show stealer is going to be the triple threat tag team title match.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm most excited for the Mjf Wardlow showdown. The storytelling in that is going to be MJF. I felt like has guided every storyline he's been in. I feel like it's all been his creation.
It's been the best.
His like, here's how this is going to play out, and here's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think we're going to get more of that, and it's going to be great. And I think we're looking at an all-time great in MJF as long as he stays healthy.
Oh yeah, definitely 100%. I think honestly, what I'm looking forward to the most, one, because they've proven me wrong before, because I thought it was going to suck when they did the gimmick of Stadium Stampede, but this Anarchy in the Arena, Jericho again. Stadium Stampede, I thought was going to be the dumbest fucking thing in the world, and it was my favorite match of the year.
2.0 guys.
The 2.0 guys. Again, you got a lot of those same players with Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz.
Look at the smile on my face when I mention the 2.0 guys. Like, every time
they're
they come
great.
out, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good.
They're great. They're awesome. And then you're going to get the violence of Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson.
LAX.
With the caveat, though, is Eddie Kingston can be funny, right? Like, he is a man's man, but he can do some silly stuff if called on. Obviously, Bryan Danielson and John Moxley can do that as well. So I think I'm most looking forward to like, what is this going to look like?
Yeah.
And how's it going to unfold? Because Jericho has also had a miss, if you think about it, though, because that Mimosa Mayhem with Orange Cassidy,
that was weird.
It was fun, but it wasn't the best. So I'm just more interested in where that's going to land with us and the audience. But yeah, the triple threat or, three-way tag match, whatever we're calling it.
That's going to be the show stealing classic match, right? Like that.
Yeah, that's going to be, you got to watch this, go back and watch this.
Crowd's going to be so into that. They're going to be chanting everybody's everything. Yep.
I like it. All right. So what we got next here? Tim.
All right. We got 2 topics here that I want to discuss from the WWE realm of things. Now, this news broke a little bit back, and he may have covered it on the last show, but we'll discuss here because at Katie First Lady sent a hashtag tweet the table, and it says, you all talked, she says directly to WWE, she says, at WWE, you all talked about the Sasha Naomi story last week. That's fine. We get it. I don't need to hear it every single week. You seem to be done with them. Stop mentioning them. It's not helping your cause. Thank you. Hashtag tweet the table. So yeah, apparently Sasha and Naomi have said, hey, this is bullshit. Fix this or we're out. And they were like, fucking bounce. And they said, all right, we're out. And which we've seen similar stuff from Sasha before. The Naomi thing I think was a little bit surprising to me. But from all accounts now, this ain't at work, right? As longer as these things go, we're all like, Now, we've seen some where they work it out, and things are fine, right? Zelina's back or whatever her name was, right?
Yeah.
So that's not to say this is the end. They're not showing up on AEW necessarily, but it sounds like the relationship, from everything we hear, hasn't gotten better in the last couple of weeks. It sounds like, if anything, they're getting more chippy. So where does all this lead? I mean, those are big names for where they were in the company and tenure, and especially with Sasha. Like, she's one of their top leading merch folks.
Naomi's coming back, 100%. I feel 100% confident in saying that. Now, again, I don't know anything as far as contract or anything like that. I just think with WWE putting in her husband's ear, hey, get her back, and then him saying like, babe, it'll be fine. Like, they promised you this, they promised you that. That will then, she'll get exhausted of hearing about it. So where she'll just show up for everyone to shut up, right? It's fine. I'm here, right? She might not be happy. She might go through her contract if she still has some months or years on it just to get through it. And then she might be done with wrestling because she's been doing this a long time. Yeah. Funkasaurus. Remember that? That wasn't like yesterday. So
how could I forget Funkasaurus?
Yeah. But with Sasha Banks, here's the thing. I don't like her character. I think her character is boring, flat, and uninteresting. And full transparency, we have never met Sasha Banks. I have never interviewed her. I've never anything like that. However, the person, Mercedes, seems like an awful person. I wouldn't want to be around her. I wouldn't want to do business with her. So I honestly don't care about her future like that. Obviously, I want safety and all the other stuff. I'm not saying like, but I'm just saying like, she is so full of herself from an outsider's perspective that I honestly, it almost feels like, if you ever watch a fight and you don't like either guy and you're like, fuck both of these guys. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel like in this fight with WWE and Sasha Banks. I'm like, fuck both of them.
So like with Sasha Banks, I feel like, and look, I'm sure she's envisioned herself of having made a career proving people wrong. But I feel like, yes, Sasha Banks is one of the top merch folks in the WWE, and they put her in all those top positions because she could go, and she's got all those historic matches and all those spots. But I feel like that's part of the manufactured circus of WWE that we complain about. I think had you come up on the independent scene, none of that would have existed. I don't think the crowd would have got behind her. I don't think they would have been like, she's the one. I don't think they would have been. I think this is, you know what I mean? Like, this is the machine producing what the machine produces. And I think, she carries some weight now that, like, if she showed up on another show, people would be like, oh man, the formerly known as Sasha Banks is over there now. But like, I think that's when the shine would start to wear off, right? Because like, as we've said, yes, she is good in the ring, but she has never if any of these matches where we talk about all-time greats from her matches have we been like, can you believe she pulled this off, or she did that, or the story they came up with? No, it was always because it was like, yeah, you guys did damn good, and you went without mistake, and like you had cardio. But like, there was we have never been wowed by a performance,
by any story. That's the thing, yeah, because wrestling is more than just ring the bell, wrestle a match, win the match, lose the match, whatever, move on. There's way more aspects of wrestling than that. Now, that is a big proponent, and some people, that's all they care about. But again, wrestling's big enough to where you don't have to love everything, right? But we love stories. And other than the Bayley Sasha story in NXT, there has yet to be a story that she has told that has been interesting.
Here's my hot take.
Interesting.
You know who's going to get, out of the two, Naomi's going to get the better reaction on the indie scene than Sasha Banks is.
Oh, I don't think either one's going to the independent scene.
Well, but I think, know what I mean, like, or if they went to AEW, or if they went to whatever, called the alt WWE scene, right?
Right.
Anything not WWE. I think the better crowd reactions go to Naomi than Sasha Banks.
Well, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like if you just said these two wrestlers, drop them into this promotion.
Right.
We don't have background history of this.
AEW,
right.
Whatever.
But we don't have background
history.
Well,
we know what happened, right? Like, let's say they show up, the 90 days goes out, and they show up. It's ROH, or it's Impact, or it's NJPW, or it's AEW, wherever they finally go, because they're not going back to AEW. I think the crowd still takes to Naomi better than Sasha Banks.
Not initially. I think initially everyone will be doing this thing.
I think everyone else though is the indie crowd though. You know what I mean? Like, it's the, like, we like wrestling, not just WWE. With the WWE, we get the like you said, hey, it's Fox, it's Saturday night, or whatever it is, right? Sunday night. Friday night. When is SmackDown on? Fuck, Friday night.
Friday. Yeah.
And, you know, let's watch it. And I think that's where Sasha Banks reigns supreme. I don't think she does on the wrestling scene. I think she does on the sports entertainment scene. We'll
see. I mean, I don't think we'll see, but it's an interesting thought.
I don't think we'll see. I think she understands too, like, AEW is the only place that's going to offer the same kind of money she's making there with her merch sales. Right. But
she has, I think honestly, she's so, hey, Roman Reigns is now getting these movie parts and these opportunities. I also should get that. And
she also has connections, right?
And my cousin is Snoop Dogg. And I was in a Disney show called, I don't know what it was called. That's Star Wars.
Good agent. We'll keep her working. She doesn't have to wrestle anymore, right? Yeah.
But I think she may be in the state of mind. And again, I don't know her. I don't know any facts. I don't read any. Right. Yeah. But what I'm saying though is I don't read any of this is all me just guessing here, but I would think from her attitude that I've seen in the past, watch that Stone Cold Steve Austin interview she did this when she's like, I'm Vince McMahon. I'm eating the steak with the vegetables now too. Like I'm that level as well. It's like the fuck you are anyhow. Right. But I think that's how she thinks of herself. And so I think when she's kind of upset that Naomi was going to win that match. Again, that's the report that I've seen on Twitter is Naomi was going to win that match. She said, Naomi, we're a team. We got to get out of here. When really she's like, bitch, I should be winning this shit. Anyhow, I think now she's seeing that Roman Reigns is getting opportunities and other people are getting opportunities. And she's going to say, that's my new life. I'm going with Snoop and I'm going to make NFTs or whatever the fuck it is that she's going to do. You know, she's going to have a crypto coin and that's her new future. She'll come back in 2025, but for the next year and a half to 2 years, I think she's going to be like, I'm in a Snoop Dogg. Yeah. She's going to, and then like, oh fuck, I need to come back because no one remembers me.
Well, and they're offering a bunch of money for a spot and it'll be a surprise and we'll do it at Crown Jewel. And yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Crown Jewel.
Fucking Jewel.
That'll be a good one.
The only other thing I want to talk about, and I kind of caught this idea while listening to some other podcasts. I can't remember which ones. Fuck them. Don't listen to any other podcasts, but this one.
I mean, come on.
Even I don't even mean just wrestling podcast. Don't listen to any other podcast, but this one.
Yeah, fuck repeat. Joe Rogan.
Put it on repeat. Yeah, fuck Joe. All right, so the Usos have won the unified WWE Tag Team Championships, right? Tom, the Usos have been around for a bit now. Are the Usos a top 5 wrestling tag team of all time?
Whoa. Now hold on. Are we saying personal or just objectively?
Let's say objectively,
Objectively, yes. Oh, yes. Objectively, top 10 without a
top
shadow
5
of a
even,
doubt.
you think, objectively. Yeah.
Yes. In WWE.
Maybe number 5.
Yeah.
Where you at? Where you at? Hey, man.
Well,
they've held a lot of titles, been in a lot of storylines, a lot of matches, right? I don't even remember marquee matches, but I remember at several points thinking like, God damn, you throw the Usos on this card, they're going to fucking kill it with whoever it is.
Or just give them a promo and they'll do the like, what does it say, Us? And he'll finish the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Even that shit's awesome. You know, here's what I'll say. On paper, they match up with every single tag team in the history of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I think, though, their impact is not the same as other teams, such as Edge and Christian, Hardys, Dudleys.
I agree with it. They don't define
New Age Outlaws,
right?
Right. Now, they kind of do a little bit because you could say them and New Day are the generation of tag team.
I think when you say like you have like tell me who defines this generation and you pick out who had the most success, yes. But I think like when you hear the name Attitude Era, you think of things like Hardy Boys, New Age Outlaws. And I don't know if we're like, hey, 2010 to 2020 that we're going to be like, oh, Uso. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it just springs to mind immediately, right? But I could be wrong.
I mean,
I don't know.
Honestly, you might think New Day.
Well, yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
And New Day's a hard case too, because there's 3 people. That's why I always thought it was kind of weird. Cause I was like, well, fuck that. They just rotated Big E out with Xavier Woods. Of course they're going to do better in this match. It goes better to his skills. Anyhow, with the Usos though, I do think, and again, we're also older too, right? We don't think that the Usos have the Hardy effect, but to a 12-year-old, fucking maybe that is them, maybe right? I would say 1,000,000% in WWE tag team history, they're in that conversation. Top 5 to 7 all time. That's then when you're getting some of those outsider teams like the Road Warriors, like the Steiners, where you're like, are they better than Harlem that? Heats. And I don't know. Harlem Heats. Yeah. So that's when
I feel like you got to put them in the top 10 though.
Easy. They're at least 9, right? They're at least number 9.
Right.
But
which, I mean, goddamn though, that's an impressive. Like it was just kind of hit me. I was like, man,
they're amazing.
Those have quietly been around here for a long time. In many different forms, not many, but like enough different forms. We've seen character growth. Now they're involved in this bloodline thing, which the bloodline thing for me has been boring. I feel like it's hit a long time.
I feel like it's hit a plateau. Now, I don't watch SmackDown, but I did see a segment where before they did this title unification, Roman Reigns told the Usos, hey, go get the championships or whatever.
Yeah.
But then he hugged them. But when he hugged him, he looked in the camera. He's like, I'm up to something. And so that made me like, what's going to happen here? However, since that moment, it's been rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing.
Well, this is all leading to The Rock. I think we've heard like The Rock's free, Royal Rumble to Mania time. That's where this has to go. And then I think Roman Reigns is going to take a break, do what you said earlier. He's going to go do some movies. We don't see him for a while. So, I mean, hey, look.
Yeah, we don't see those movies either.
Well, that's it. Yeah, we don't see those movies either. So, yeah, we don't see the Scorpion 14. Right. Scorpion King, whatever it is. Fuck it.
Scorpion Cousin.
Yeah, the Scorpion Cousin.
That's what they should do.
Sharknado 6. So, like, but this is a good formula, right? If you know, like, hey, we got a guy who's clearly going to go be a movie star in 5 years. Well, then fucking hit a major storyline that can be, you know what I mean? He held the title for 3 years and now he's out. That makes sense to me, right? Like, get everything you can out of the guy if he's possibly going to leave and go be famous elsewhere, right? If he's going to pull a Batista, right? So, fine. Like, where I'm hitting on is I'm glad they're doing this unified titles thing, though. Like, it makes things way more interesting. And it elevates that secondary title when the person's gone on the other show involved in a storyline. You know what I mean?
Well, I watched I forgot what it was, but they said something to the effect of, hey, rumor is the brand split's done. Because apparently on Friday, Cody's going to be there for no reason. Just he's going to be on the show. And so, yeah, get rid of the brand split, because I'm done personally with hearing about what's his new name now? Ezekiel? What Elias?
Yeah,
what is he now?
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired of that. Never has been fucking on the television. Get him out of here. Make Kevin Owens do
Damian
something better.
Where it's like,
but
yeah,
he's not
good,
even.
He's funny,
but
like
he's not even getting those reactions. Listen to when the bell rings. Ain't no one fucking caring. But like, get the brand split done and just have them all kind of hanging out. Because that you don't have a strong enough roster. You've killed 80% of it, and then now you're kind of left with nothing. So just put in the big time players. Here's where I'll challenge, not you specifically, but just the general thought of The Rock, because I kind of reject it. You get to WrestleMania 39, right? Is that the next one? Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Rock versus Roman. Like, Rock is 50.
Yeah.
And he ain't showing up. But what I'm saying is,
like, they foreshadowed it on a show.
No. I'm not saying that. But I'm not saying, like, I think the consensus kind of amongst the IWC is that The Rock wins and ends the title reign. And I kind of reject that because he's not going to go to WrestleMania Backlash and wrestle someone else.
No, I think Roman Reigns wins it.
So then who takes out Roman Reigns? I think that's the more interesting story, right? Because it's not going to be The Rock, at least in my opinion. So then who's it going to be?
Oh, here you go. Unless The Rock... He comes around and he fucks with. Here's how the story plays it. Here's how I'm doing it if I write it, because this is the best way. All right.
Okay.
So The Rock comes around and he's just like doing his fucking shticky rock thing. Like, everybody remember me? I'm a fucking superhero. Everybody thinks I'm the best. Look at my giant fucking penis. And, you know what I mean? Everybody's like oohing and on, except Roman Reigns is like, I don't think you understand. You know what I mean? He's brooding over in the corner, and the Usos are over there like, yeah, man, don't talk about a fucking cut. You know, he's like, this isn't your place anymore. This is cute in front of everybody. And The Rock's like, oh, seems like you got your panties in a twist or whatever, right? Like, kind of no-selling it for a while, but he keeps hanging around, and the Roman's getting a little more pissed, and he's like, no, fuck that. Let's end this. You know what I mean? Like, you act like you ran this family for years, and I'm tired of it. I'm here now. I run it. Let's do it. And The Rock's like, nah, I don't do this anymore. Like, I don't need to do this. I got nothing to prove. And he's like, the fuck you do? This is about the bloodline. This is who runs the family. And he's like, I mean, we know who runs the family, right? Like, he's just no-selling it, right? Like, pissing Roman off. So finally he's like, all right, well, listen, if I'm going to do this, then you got to leave WWE. And you're out. And then, like, he's like, and I won't even want it. I'll just turn it back over, and they can have a tournament for the new champion. But you're out because you suck, and I'm tired of listening to you. And I'm tired of you ruining the family name. And I'm tired of you, blah, blah, blah. And that's where we go, and that's where Rock wins it. Roman gets to go have his Hollywood party.
And
Rock's
then the
like,
title's vacated.
Turn it over, like I said, right.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Do like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I love tournaments, so I'm 100% in on that.
Right, then you got a whole new fresh start. Roman's gone. Who's the king of the hill? And, of course, out come the Seth Rollins and the Kevin Owens and the mice will play.
You know who it's going to be,
Cody Rhodes. He's the new Lex Express.
He's going to be the one that takes down Roman.
This is what they wanted Lex Luger to be. The Americana, red, white, and blue, the blonde hair.
And I also think WrestleMania 39, you do Rock, Roman. Mm-hmm. Roman overcomes and beats The Rock. Okay. Rock goes, okay, you're the king, right? Kind of bows down. And then when Roman says, I am the king of the world, well, that American dream, that American hope comes crawling up.
Nobody can beat this family. There's no other bloodline as strong as ours.
America. And then it's fucking Ford F-150s fucking driving down the damn entrance ramp, and then you got Cody.
Well, and how apropos that'll be for a guy who fucking wears suits all the time and fucking eats caviar. Which is what they do. They
by the way,
F-150s for somebody who fucking anyway.
But I think it's going to do two things. It's one, Cody's finally going to get the thing, and then they're going to get the Dustin Rhodes thing or the Dusty Rhodes thing, right? We're going to get the American Dream, the title, all that stuff payoff, right? That's going to be the payoff, and then we're also going to get low key. Hey MJF, hey AEW guys, you know what we do for you guys when you come over? Look at Cody. And so I think it's going to be Cody who takes out Roman Reigns for all those reasons. By the way, did you see?
MJF is going to WWE, right? Like that's going to be 2024.
No, he's
you think
not.
You think he's healing it the whole time for this?
Yes.
Okay.
The guy that can't do a promo without saying the word shit is going to go to PG WWE. That would be the worst thing to happen in his career.
Money talks.
Yeah, but so does your fucking legacy, and he knows he's hearing the stories. And Tony Khan ain't got it's not like he's broke. You're gonna get that fucking money.
Got more money than Vince McMahon does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, did you see this Twitter video? I didn't see the Raw because I don't watch it. But Cody gets whipped with his belt, right?
Oh yeah.
But Seth Rollins took the belt from a kid that Cody gave that belt to. And then Cody fucking, after he gets whipped, still grabs the belt and then limps over and still hands it back to the kid. I'll say this. That's cheesy as fuck.
But it works.
But that's fucking
Lex
good.
Express, man.
That was really good. That was kudos to Cody. You fucking corny ass white-haired fucking weirdo, but that was good. Good
Love
stuff. Love it.
Well, this is the show. I'm super excited about AEW Double or Nothing, man. I can't wait for this weekend. I'm sure Tom will be live tweeting as it's going along.
Come on.
Maybe something.
I am.
And we'll be enjoying it. We'll be having a blast. And we hope you guys stick around. We hope you hang out with us. Use hashtag tweet the table, talk to us, and be our friend, right? I said it before.
Be our friend.
We need friends.
The Spanish announce table.